What if the phrase, life is but a dream isn't just a nursery rhyme?
Right, like what if it's not just some metaphor?
Exactly. What if it's not just some poetic thing meant to make you feel better about having a bad day, but a literal, actionable blueprint for completely changing your reality?
That is a massive shift in perspective.
It really is.
Yeah.
Seriously, I want you to think about that for a second. Imagine you realize you've been playing this massive multiplayer video game your entire life.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
Right. You've been grinding away, fighting bosses, getting stuck on these impossibly difficult levels, and you just assume the rules of the game are totally fixed.
You think you're just a player at the mercy of the system.
Yeah, exactly. But then suddenly someone slides you the developer codes.
Wow.
You look at the screen and you realize, wait, I can actually alter the physics of the game world. I'm not just playing anymore. I can change the underlying code.
Which completely upends how we're taught to view our place in the universe.
Oh, 100%.
If you hold those codes, you step out of the role of a passive observer or a victim of circumstance, and you become what the source material calls an empowered Imagineer.
An Imagineer, I love that term. And that concept, becoming the Imagineer of your own life, is the exact premise of the deep dive we are doing today.
It's a fascinating topic.
It really is.
Yeah.
We are looking at a book called How to Run Down a Dream by Saul Luckman. And when I was first looking through this material, it just struck me as this incredible practical map.
Yeah, a map for anyone on that heroic quest to become their best self.
Right. And it's pulling from all these different fields: quantum mechanics, philosophy, literature, alchemy, shamanism.
Yeah.
But it's doing all of that to literally hand you those developer codes.
But you can't really use developer codes until you realize what the game engine is actually built on.
Fair point. You have to know the system.
Exactly. The reason we feel so stuck in our day-to-day lives is that we assume the game engine is a material physics engine. Like, we think reality is made of solid stuff.
Because it feels solid. I knock on a desk, it feels solid.
Right, but Lugman argues that's fundamentally incorrect. The core concept he introduces here is the holoconscious universe.
The holoconscious universe.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing is not your standard high school physics definition of reality.
Not at all. I mean, the book argues that reality just isn't a fixed material construct. It's actually a malleable holographic dreamscape.
Okay, a holographic dream.
Yeah. Everything we experience, so the chair you're sitting on, the relationships you have, the job you go to, it's all a product of focused attention and imagination.
Mind-blowing.
It is. The universe is fundamentally mental or conscious in nature. The physical world is just the surface layer. It's a projection of a deeper source code of consciousness.
Okay, so we are literally projecting our world into existence.
Exactly.
But let's look at the practical reality of that for the person listening to this right now.
Sure.
Because if reality is just a dream that I can edit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am the one generating the projection, why on earth would I project a Tuesday morning traffic jam?
Right. Why project the bad stuff?
Yeah. Why would I project an audit or a broken heart or, an illness? If I'm the Imagineer, why am I imagining the painful stuff?
It's the natural pushback. Everyone asks that. And Luckman tackles it head on, using this concept drawn from the great romantic poet John Keats.
Oh, interesting. What does Keats say?
Well, we have this tendency to view ourselves as victims of circumstance when things go wrong, right?
Of course. It's human nature.
But if we accept the holoconscious universe, we have to look at the specific holographic dreamscape totally differently. Earth basically functions as a veil of soul-making.
A veil of soul-making, meaning it's actually designed to be difficult.
Yes, exactly. Earth is essentially a highly demanding consciousness dojo.
A dojo. Okay, I like that.
It's a training ground. It's designed to forge us as spiritual warriors on the hero's journey. So the hardships, the pain, the seemingly insurmountable obstacles, those aren't glitches in the game.
They're features.
They are the refiner's fire. You literally cannot become an empowered Imagineer if you don't have resistance to train against.
Okay, so it's like going to the gym.
Yeah, perfect analogy.
Because if you go to a gym and the weights are made of styrofoam, you aren't going to build any muscle at all.
Right, you just be throwing them around.
Yeah. The heavy stuff, the painful stuff, is the actual resistance we need to build the muscle of our imagination.
Exactly. And that completely reframes the idea of victimhood.
It totally does.
Yeah.
You aren't a victim of a cruel world. You're just a student in its dojo learning how to lift heavier, energetic weights.
And to really ground this, the book brings in a quote from Albert Einstein. He said, "Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one."
A persistent illusion.
Yeah. Einstein understood that what we perceive as solid is just this persistent projection. So once you accept that the resistance is an illusion designed for your training, you can start learning how to actually interact with the projection rather than just, reacting to it as a victim.
Which brings us to the methodology.
Right, the how-to.
Because if the dojo is a training ground and reality is a persistent illusion, how do we actually start throwing punches?
How do you use the developable codes?
Exactly. I want to know how to use the codes. And looking at the source material, the entry point for this is actually a pretty surprising pop culture reference.
Yeah, the title itself, How to Run Down a Dream, is a direct nod to Tom Petty's massive hit song.
Running down a dream.
Yeah. And most of us hear that song as just, a fun road trip anthem about chasing success.
Put the windows down, turn up the radio.
Right. But Luckman offers a much deeper philosophical reading of those lyrics. He says the song isn't just about chasing a goal within the existing reality.
Boy.
It's a metaphor for running down a totally new reality. It's about changing the dream itself.
And that reinterpretation sets up what the book calls the 3 master manifestation keys.
Yes, the keys to the code.
Right. So if you realize you can change the dream, these keys represent the varying levels of access you have to that underlying code.
Let's break them down.
Yeah, looking at the first one, the key to worldly success, it feels very familiar to me. It sounds a lot like classic law of attraction stuff.
It is. It's the level where most people start out. It basically involves laser focusing your imagination to achieve, be, or do something specific within the material world.
Okay, so getting a tangible result.
Exactly. You're using your developer codes to get a better outcome, but you're still playing within the existing rules of the game.
Like getting the promotion, finding the right partner, building a business.
Right. It's shifting probability in your favor.
Which is great. I mean, we all need to pay rent, and we all want a good life.
Absolutely.
But key 2 is where I had to pause and really think about the mechanics of this. Because the second key is radically transforming your life.
Yes.
And I was thinking, how is that functionally different from key 1?
Hmm.
Isn't getting a great job or a perfect partner a radical transformation?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you can get a new job, right?
Yeah.
But if your internal paradigm, your foundational dream is that life is a constant, exhausting struggle.
Oh, you'll just take the struggle with you.
Exactly. You'll just find new ways to struggle in that fancy corner office.
That makes so much sense.
So key 2 is the realization that you can alter your entire lived experience by changing your internal dream of it. It's not just getting better stuff.
It's bigger than that.
Way bigger. It's shifting your entire energetic relationship to the world. You literally swap out the struggle paradigm for a flow paradigm.
Wow.
And when you do that, you are experiencing a completely different version of reality, even if your external circumstances haven't fully caught up to it yet.
I see. So key 1 is getting a better outcome in the game, but key 2 is changing the genre of the game entirely.
That's a perfect way to put it.
You stop playing a survival horror game and you start playing like a cozy sandbox builder.
Yes.
And then there's key 3, which is altering reality at an impossible level.
This is the ultimate alchemical goal.
Impossible level? What does that even mean?
Well, at this level, you are becoming a conscious creator in the eternal life.
Okay.
It means you are capable of shaping not just this current life, but you learn to direct the dream so powerfully that you transcend the matrix of this construct entirely.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you are literally coding your own afterlife and beyond.
Okay, so we are way past manifesting a parking spot at the grocery store at this point.
Way past it.
But to do that kind of coding, to operate those master keys and successfully navigate a holographic dreamscape, the book makes a really crucial point.
It does.
Your physical body simply isn't enough.
Right, because the physical body is bound to the surface layer of the illusion.
Exactly. You need a vehicle that can actually travel through the deep code of the dream.
And that's where you need the dream body.
The dream body. The book also refers to this as the ghost in the machine or an etheric tulpa.
Yes, a culpa.
And let's explain the mechanics of a tulpa, because when I first read that, it just sounded like a concept from a fantasy novel.
It really does. But the term actually originates in Tibetan mysticism.
Okay.
A tulpa is essentially a being or an object created entirely through spiritual or mental discipline.
So you think it into existence.
Right. So in this context, your dream body is an ideal energetic vessel. It doesn't just happen by accident, and it's not something you're just born with in a fully functional state.
You have to build it.
You have to build it. It is created through laser-like focus and sustained intention. It is basically the energetic double of yourself, but optimized.
And the book gives a very specific, actionable exercise to build this optimized double.
The mental chamber technique.
Yes, the mental chamber.
Mm.
And the instruction is, you close your eyes, you stare at the back of your eyelids, and you watch the shifting colors and the darkness until they form a movie screen.
Right.
And once that screen forms, you consciously project your most vibrant, healthy, and powerful self onto it.
Yes.
But I have to be honest here.
Okay.
When I read that, my first thought was, wait, staring at the back of my eyelids. That just sounds like daydreaming.
Right.
How does me just imagining I'm an optimized superhero actually do anything?
Right.
What is the alchemical difference between this technique
Mhm.
and just, passive fantasy?
That is a vital distinction to make. Think of passive daydreaming like a breeze.
Okay.
It moves the leaves around a bit, but it quickly dissipates. It has no structure to it.
It's just thoughts floating by.
Exactly. But active imagination, the kind used in the mental chamber technique, is the active generation of bioenergetic mass.
Bioenergetic mass.
Yeah. By projecting this ideal version of yourself onto that internal screen, so imagining the sound of its footsteps, the texture of its clothes, the feeling of its vitality, you aren't just watching a movie, you are building a solid structure.
Okay, so I thought of it kind of like building an electromagnet.
Oh, how so?
Well, if you just have a piece of iron, it doesn't do much, right?
Right.
But every specific sensory detail you vividly imagine is like wrapping a coil of copper wire around that iron core.
That is a brilliant analogy.
Thanks, because the more coils you wrap with your focused attention, the more energetic charge that core can hold.
Exactly. You are packing life force energy into this dream body. In alchemical terms, you're constructing the internal philosopher's stone. You're turning the passive air of your thoughts into a highly dense charged battery.
And we need that battery, because this dream body is the vessel that allows you to perform personal miracles, heal your own energetic wounds, and, navigate the dojo with heightened intuition.
It really is.
It is the immortal suit you wear when you finally graduate from the training ground.
Which is a huge concept.
It is. But, okay, once we have this dream body charged up, how do we take it out for a spin?
Right. How do we actually use it? This brings us to the actionable practices of the book.
Which are?
Dream walking and dream surfing.
Okay.
These are the core techniques for actively shaping the dreamscape in real time using that charged vessel you just built.
Let's start with dream walking, which the book calls reconnecting with a dream.
Yes.
And I guarantee almost everyone listening has actually done this accidentally.
Oh, for sure.
Have you ever been having a great dream? Right. And you wake up to go get a glass of water or whatever.
Yeah.
And you think, man, I really want to see how that dream ends. So you go back to sleep, you focus on the last image you saw, and you fall right back into the exact same narrative.
Yes. That is the raw mechanism of dream walking. But instead of doing it by accident just to finish a fun storyline, Luckman teaches you how to do this intentionally.
So it's deliberate.
Highly deliberate. It's about becoming an active director of your nighttime dreams rather than just a passive observer who gets swept along by whatever's happening.
Right.
You set an intention before sleep, and if you wake up in the middle of the night, you consciously step back into the narrative. But this time, you use your dream body to take the wheel.
Yep.
You walk through the dream on your terms.
It's like the perfect sandbox to practice in.
Exactly.
If you want to learn how to edit waking reality, you start by editing sleeping reality.
It's the training wheels.
Yeah. But the true masterstroke of inner alchemy, the practice that really shifts you from a player to a developer, is dream surfing.
Yes. Also known as dreaming awake.
Dreaming awake.
Dream surfing is, it's a really intense practice. It is the act of entering a deep, lucid, dreamlike state without actually falling asleep.
So you're wide awake.
You are maintaining waking consciousness, yes. But you are accessing the raw creative power of the unconscious dream state at the same time.
That sounds difficult.
You are literally straddling two worlds.
And the mechanics of how to achieve that state are fascinating. It relies on a very specific type of breath work.
Yes, the breathing is key.
And it's tied to this ancient alchemical concept of the tria prima, or the three primes.
Which are sulfur, salt, and mercury.
Right.
And the author brilliantly maps these three primes to the mechanics of respiration. That's how you maintain this awake dream state in your mental chamber.
Well, let's decode that mapping, because I think it really clarifies what is actually happening in your body when you do this.
Okay, let's do it.
So in alchemy, sulfur is the volatile element. It's the expansive, chaotic principle, the fire.
Right.
So how does that map to breathing?
Sulfur represents the in-breath.
The in-breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you take that in-breath during this practice, you aren't just taking in oxygen. You are embracing the expansive, chaotic, raw potential of the unconscious.
Wow.
The in-breath is the act of releasing control. You let the dream begin to form on the screen of your mental chamber without forcing it to do anything. It's total surrender to the volatile creative force.
Okay, so if sulfur is the fire and the surrender, then salt has to be the opposite.
Exactly.
Because in alchemy, salt is the base, right? It's the solid structure, the principle of contraction and form.
Spot on. So salt represents the out-breath.
Ah, okay.
This is taking control. With waking consciousness, you exert your will on the dream, you direct the action, or you shape the environment, or you make a decision within the vision.
You're forcing it into form.
Yes, you provide the solid structure to the chaotic fire you just breathed in. It's active, willful participation.
So in-breath is surrender to the raw potential. Out-breath is directed potential with your will.
Exactly.
But that leaves Mercury, the fluid mediator.
Mercury is the magic in the middle.
The magic in the middle. I like that.
It represents the space between breaths.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the pure subconscious state, the transitional realm where your dream body actually operates. By consciously cycling through releasing control on the inhale, taking control on the exhale, and resting in the fluid stillness between...
You ride the wave of the dream.
Yes, you are dream surfing.
You're balancing right on the edge of the knife between waking and sleeping.
It's incredible.
It is. But before anyone listening tries to just go surf the deepest waves of their subconscious tonight, Luckman is very clear that this is serious energetic work.
Oh, absolutely.
There is a major safety rule here that we have to talk about.
You cannot ignore this part.
No, you cannot just dive into the deep end without a tether.
The practice absolutely requires grounding. I mean, if you are generating that much bioenergetic mass and altering your state of consciousness that deeply, you need an anchor.
You have to establish what he calls a home base.
Yes.
Before you close your eyes and enter your mental chamber, you need to acutely focus on your physical surroundings.
Right.
The exact feeling of the chair against your back, the temperature of the air on your skin, the specific hum of the refrigerator in the next room.
You make that solid waking reality your anchor.
Because if the internal dreamscape ever gets too intense or too disorienting,
which it can.
Yeah, it definitely can. You must have a preset mental command to slingshot back to that sensory home base.
You must stay grounded in your physical body while your dream body is out exploring the code.
It is what shamanic traditions sometimes call controlled folly.
Controlled folly, yeah.
You are engaging deeply with the illusion, but you always remember exactly where the exit door is.
That's vital. And mastering dream surfing is how you begin to see that waking reality and dream reality are really just different frequencies of the exact same holoconscious projection.
That is the whole point.
It is.
When you realize they're the exact same substance, you realize you can edit your waking life with the exact same focus you use to direct your dream surfing.
Yeah.
You really are holding the developer codes to your own life. By shifting your perspective from feeling like a victim of the dojo to becoming the Imagineer of your experience, you can change everything.
So true.
You can heal the energetic wounds that are draining your battery. You can manifest your best life.
It is a message of profound empowerment.
It really is.
We are not trapped in a fixed system. We are just learning how to operate a fluid one.
Beautifully said.
But if we connect all of these concepts, the dojo, the dream body, the master keys, it actually leaves us with an absolutely staggering implication about the ultimate trajectory of the book.
Oh, I was hoping we'd get to this. It's the ultimate, why are we doing this question?
Exactly. Because if this reality is just a dojo, right, a demanding training ground for your soul to learn how to dream worlds into being,
Yeah.
what happens when you finally graduate?
Right. Because if you master the training has to end eventually. You can't stay in the gym forever.
No, you can't. And the book hints that the ultimate hero's journey doesn't end with physical death.
It doesn't.
No. Death is just stepping fully into the dream body you've spent your entire life building and charging.
Oh, wow.
So what if, by mastering dream surfing right now, in this life, you are actually in training for something much, much bigger?
Bigger than Earth.
Yes. The author suggests that a fully realized Imagineer might eventually pass through what he calls the black hole into a white hole.
Pass through a black hole into a white hole. To become what, exactly?
To become the dreaming god of your very own brand new reality experiment in eternity.
That is heavy.
It is.
Yeah.
You don't just get to play in the sandbox anymore. You become the source code for an entirely new universe.
You're learning how to dream here so you can dream entire worlds into existence there.
Exactly.
Going from playing the video game to getting the developer codes to finally stepping out of the studio entirely and launching a whole new universe of your own design.
That's the ultimate goal.
That is, I mean, that's just an incredible thought to leave on. So for everyone listening, the next time you are stuck in traffic or dealing with a really difficult moment, remember the dojo.
Remember the training.
Remember the developer codes. Life is but a dream, and you are the Imagineer.
It might be time to start editing.
Absolutely. Thanks for going on this deep dive with us today. We'll catch you next time.